After last week's discussion about pink flamingos, I thought, you know what? What if I brought another unholy film to discuss this week? But I can't do it.
No.
Yes. See, here's the thing, right? The last time I watched Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie, right?
Oh, no.
I was in college. And the things I found funny back then are very, very different from what I find funny now. Just to give you an idea, and this is so tame in comparison, it doesn't even give you an idea, right? But one of the tamest jokes I can give you, out of the jokes that are tasteless, which is 99% of it, the most acceptable one I could tell you is there is a scene where a man masturbates to a photograph of the Hiroshima mushroom cloud.
Oh.
Ooh. That's the tamest example of the tasteless stuff.
Yeah, that's rough.
The rest of it is worse. Like, I often think, and Conrad, you were around for the early parts of my career. I've been very open about the fact that I had, I went in for a lot of edgy humor, said a lot of shit that I did. Yeah, and I completely own it. And I often feel shitty about it, I'm like, I can't believe I made that joke, or I used to think this kind of shit was funny. And I'm like, the one thing that gives me relief from my own self-loathing is I can remember whenever I'm at my lowest and feel like I am a horrible human being for any reason, not just past indiscretions, any reason, I can always remember that I've seen James Gunn play a disabled man in a trauma film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's... That is actually, I think, part of the great gift of things like trauma, is that they leave a space for all of us to feel better about the things that we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always something at the bottom of the barrel that isn't us, and it is trauma.
Yeah. I actually have something that I need to apologize for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Last week, I made a mistake. I confused Denise Richards with Jerry Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Dragged me down with you.
Can I just know, I had nothing to do with this because I could not remember either of these actors' faces based on their names.
No, but you didn't stand up and correct me, so you're to blame, Laura.
We're all going down with this ship.
Do you know how many times people Blue Sky posted me and neither of you?
Oh, nobody ever Blue Skies me. It's amazing.
No, the number of people who posted me and me exclusively, and I'm like, hello, you've messaged the one person who had nothing to do with that conversation.
I actually had one person contact me about it, and when they did it in reply to a reply I was making to another conversation entirely. Like, they were too lazy to just write a new tweet, but this feels like it was more effort somehow. I don't know.
It came up in the podcast channel on my Discord, and people sort of, no one was being given shit about it. Let's be clear.
No one was mean.
But I did, because it was such a whiplash for me to go from, I used to watch Voyager. I used to like Seven of Nine as a character and all of that. I am a big Starship Troopers fan.
Right.
So I am well aware of Denise Richards. Someone please tell me she was in that and I've not fucked that up now.
Yeah, she was in that.
My memory replaced Seven of Nine's face with Denise Richards' face when I heard Denise Richards in Seven of Nine. And I believed it fully.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, there's another Denise on Star Trek, Denise Crosby. She was in Next Generation, and she was also super disrespected by the writers on Star Trek for a long time. And later on, they kind of, did a little better by her when they brought the actress back for some other roles. But so I I accidentally used the name of a completely different disrespected Star Trek actress when disrespecting Jerry Ryan, and I feel terrible. I'm so sorry, Jerry Ryan. I know you're listening.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel bad.
Minor interruption about Star Trek Voyager. I've been recently recording the first few episodes of the Star Trek podcast with Jeffrey Bunting, lovely person. First episode's probably going up this week, I think is the plan. Might be going up to the day that this goes up. But we recorded an episode the other day talking about an episode of Voyager, because we've been spinning a wheel and just letting any old Star Trek shit get thrown at us. I watched an episode that's entire plot was Ensign Harry Kim, the eternal ensign in Voyager, gets brought to Planet of the Beautiful Women Who Want to Fuck You Dry into a zombified husk. And the only reason he survives is he is oblivious to the fact that every woman is trying to fuck him. At one point, he does a backward somersault to escape sex.
You see, this is what I'm so sick of, right? Is sci-fi always treating autism like a superpower.
My favourite one, and the one I can't stop thinking about, and it's been on my mind because we talked about Voyager last week, was they've convoluted a reason that he has to stay on the planet of beautiful women for one extra night, and this woman invites us, she shows him where his bedroom's going to be, and she comes in and she's like, okay, well, here's your bed, and he's like, oh, okay, well, good night, and she's like, well, what if I stayed here a little longer? And his response is to go, oh, are you here to tell me a bedtime story and tuck me in?
Fucking hell.
I'm like, oh, you sweet child.
That'd dry me up, no worries. That is a shame. Right, well, I do want to just, before we move on to the ghastly business of the day, I don't want to just come here and be like, here is a film that I've brought up that I can't in good conscience recommend, even though I'm trying to have my cake and fuck it too by mentioning it for content. So I want to bring a film, and I know Conrad's going to 100% agree with me on this one. I'm going to bring up a film I did watch this week, rewatched, one of my favourite films of all time, that I would heartily recommend, and that is Wet Hot American Summer.
Hell
Ooh,
yes.
Hell fucking yes.
You know, that's Bradley Cooper's first film.
Is it?
It's his first film. Yeah.
Because I know he was tight with David Wayne and Showalter and Black with the Stella shorts and that. And thank you, by the way, Conrad, for being the person to introduce me to Stella all those years ago. Absolutely transformative in terms of my appreciation for American comedy.
They do absurd in a way that relates, I think. Yeah.
They're really good at absurd and Wayne and Showalter especially are so good at genre parody, which is why Wet Hot American Summer is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wet Hot American Summer is, for those who don't know, it is a parody of sort of coming-of-age dramas and dramedies and stuff. It's set on a summer camp and takes place over a day, and it does just go to such absurds. And it's got, a lot of members of the state, the MTV sketch show in it, and some of the funniest things I have ever seen. The bit that I always think about, and it's not something that many people bring up, but there was something about it, and I've never laughed this hard at a film ever. It's Michael Showalter's other character he plays in the film. He plays this compere for a talent show, and he just keeps doing this terrible stand-up set about how old he is, where he's like, I went to camp so long ago, we had fried pterodactyl eggs, and it's really shit jokes, and the crowd are screaming with laughter, and it just keeps going until he's like, fucking Jesus Christ was my counselor, and I cry laughing at that. Plus the bike scene. I love Joe Latroglio in general. His facial expressions are brilliant, and his face when he's chasing Ken Marino on a bike while Ken Marino is sprinting faster than the bike. I watched that yesterday. I couldn't find it. You can't officially find it on streaming services in the UK.
It used to be on Netflix because Netflix had acquired the rights so that they could make the prequel and sequel series.
Prequel and sequel series, which I watched first in lieu of the film, which I can just tell you is the film's just on YouTube. If you just look up Wet Hot American Summer full, it's there. I will say, I don't know what the consensus is on the series. I love them.
I really love the prequel. The sequel, a little less so.
It's not as good. Like, I fully agree. Like, it's not as good.
The prequel has the Showalter Reagan that is just so ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But Michael Ian Black's George Bush Sr. in the sequel one is quite good as well.
That is good too, yeah.
Like, there is a lot of good stuff in the second one. The second series. But it's just not as good as the first. And the film is just... It is, in my opinion, one of the all-time perfect films. It is damn near perfect. Plus Bradley Cooper and Michael Ian Black, two men I find very handsome. Like, now, and back then, they have a scene that is recommended. Very recommended. And so well done. Like, not even for the joke of it. Yeah. What makes it so funny is how touching it is. Like, how wonderfully heartwarming it is, and how well done. And again, this is what makes them such good genre. Like, Wayne as a director especially, so good at parodying a whole genre, is... I've watched scenes exactly like that, point for point. It's just the fact that it's in this that makes it so great. Yeah, big fan. It was Conrad who introduced me to Stella, which is Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, and David Wayne. And they did a Comedy Central series, which I loved. Which
was based on a long-running New York club show that they did after the state ended. Yeah.
Yeah. I still have... I can't find the fucking disc. So I'm going to have to find a replacement disc, but I still have the cover of the Stella Shorts DVD that is signed by all three of them.
Oh.
Like, I love it, but I need to get a new disc to put in it.
Showalter and Ian Black, the two Michaels, are the only two signatures I don't have on my state book. I got everybody else, but yeah. Yeah,
I'm a big fan
of
all of them. Michael Ian Black's very pretty, though.
Yes, he is.
He's my favourite for that vapid reason.
He's on a CNN version of a UK news panel show now.
Oh, yeah. He's on Have I Got News For You? They started a US version, which I need to check out.
He hosts the podcast version, too.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's not bad, you know. It works. I've been watching it. It's a pretty good show. I like it. Yeah.
Well, there we are. I felt like I should have an actual good film recommendation rather than here's the tasteless, embarrassing shit I watched.
But now, that Wet Hot American Summer is fantastic, and people should watch it.
Yeah.
You know what else is fantastic?
Is it video games?
Well, one video game in particular this week I think is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Have you been? Is this the one that your wife's been playing?
It is. Yeah. Well, I've been playing it a bit too.
Yeah, I was assuming you'd also. I knew that she'd been playing it.
Yeah, Resident Evil Requiem is a good video game.
It's
a
fucking
good video
brilliant.
game.
I love it. I finished it the other day. I've got my review drafted. There are sequences in that game that I would call a work of fucking art.
I am near the end. I am down in the depths under the city. So I'm getting near the end. That game's flip-flopping between, like, genuinely fucking terrifying horror and, quite frankly, ludicrous action scenes is beautiful.
It's that contrast of the absurd and the serious that makes this, like, it defines Resident Evil for me.
Yeah.
And this game does some, like, incredibly subtle absurdities that I really appreciate. Like, very early on, like, the first sequence where you have Leon, and there's the guy with the chainsaw, and, you know, and they keep picking up the chainsaw if you don't, you know, aren't the one that gets, you're like playing catch with the chainsaw, and that's fun.
Yeah, but it's like spinning around on the floor, so you're gonna get stabbed if you try and get it too soon.
I love it when a zombie holding a chainsaw falls, but is still holding it and gets dragged along the floor with the They're fucking awesome. It's
oh no, I was trying to slice too many of them with the chainsaw, and now it's stuck in one of their bodies, and now I've got to kill you if I'm gonna get it back.
Little touches of pure fucking anarchy. Like, I think that's why this doesn't have a whiplash between the horror and the action. There is a through line of what the fuck is going to happen next that keeps it going.
And so after you deal with these chainsaw, you know, this chainsaw zombie situation, you have to go through a door that's bolted.
Yes.
And it's a wooden door, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah.
It's a wooden door with a metal bolt, and the bolt is on the side that Leon is on.
Yeah.
And he takes the chainsaw and cuts not through the door, which would make sense because the chainsaw would easily cut through wood. He cuts through the bolt with the chainsaw, which would probably just destroy the chainsaw.
The other thing about that is I'm almost 100% certain that the 3D model of the bolt is the exact same 3D model of the bolt in other areas that he just unlocks when he doesn't have a chainsaw.
1,000% it is. I have gone back and looked.
I do wonder, is the chainsaw mandatory to get through that? I just happened to be holding it when I approached it.
It is. It is indeed mandatory to get through there.
Amazing.
Leon will not go through there unless you let him chainsaw it, like the special boy he is.
There is a lot about Leon's half of this that reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4. Both in terms of, like, tone and some of the sheer nostalgia porn that this one has, and also just moments of sheer fucking batshit that I love. If someone were to ask what's my favourite out of, like, the sections with Grace and the sections with Leon, though, I'd probably edge a bit Leon, but it's really hard to pick, because both are so good.
They're both serving such completely different things in that game. The more time I spend with it, the more I appreciate, like, how nice both halves are as palate cleansers to each other.
Mm-hmm. And now, I haven't had as much Leon time, because I'm still in the care center.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
almost done there. But the Grace segments are really, like, tense. They do a great job of and you know what? It's the audio that's doing so much of the lifting.
The sound is great, yes.
Yeah, like the noises in the house, but her breathing specifically, and the performance of her breathing, the way they have timed it out, both in cutscenes and in gameplay, just adds such a heightened level to that tension. It's remarkably good.
Grace's voice actor overall it's some of the best voice acting I've heard. Not just in a game, like anything animated, anything to do with voiceover. That's some of the best fucking acting I've heard. The stuttering is incredible.
Yeah. She's let down occasionally a little bit by the writing. Like, and this is another one of those, like, you know, Resident Evil quirk things, but, like, she makes an awkward apology to a corpse after as she's removing a wristband from him.
Yeah.
This is the third wristband she's removed from a corpse. So, why now?
Yeah, but this one was, like, on a table. This was, like, a fancy one. Like, this one was like, oh, you were in the middle of, like, a surgery or something?
Actually,
like,
no.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is that not the one on the table in the lab?
No, this is the one in the room with the girl, in the examination, the one for the examination room. It's
You're right,
he's slumped over a desk or something.
I'm okay with it, because it's the kind of irrational shit I think I would do. I think the kind of irrational shit I would say would be to apologize to different corpses. Like, I don't know how much of that is actually intentional, of course, and it might just be weird silliness. Which, again, it doesn't matter too. I think this is one of the better written ones.
Oh, for sure.
But the series does have a through line of, you know, some very silly dialogue. But I actually quite liked the apologizing. As someone who, in tense situations, will terminally apologize.
1,000,000%.
It's more that this is the third incident, but it's not. It's the first time she's apologized.
Yeah, but see, here's how I rationalized it. It's the first time she's been in the room with another person, and despite the fact that little girl, she does not know there's a corpse over there or what you're doing with that corpse. Like, she's not going to be bothered of taking the thing off the corpse. There's someone else present, and therefore my anxiety to apologize is way more up.
No, but the guy is, he's, it's all the way tucked in the corner. He's, there's nobody in the room when it happens. Anyway, the point is
she not in there?
No,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that she's in there when you, oh, maybe there is a first time. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
I have a memory of her saying sorry twice.
No, it could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think she might have said it once when actually killing a zombie.
That could be.
I know that.
Yeah,
I'm
that
almost
sounds...
certain there was a moment where she apologizes. I've got a memory of an enemy falling over and her saying sorry. I don't know. Like, I think it's an intentional thing for the character to try and get her character across. But I do... Yeah,
the timing feels
I can
weird.
see how it could come off very, like, weird.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it myself, but I also see how it could be, like, someone could look at that and be like, this is... Why is she randomly apologizing?
As a chronic apologizer, I thought very little of it.
Yeah. Oh, there's this lovely person who comes into my stream chat and apologizes for being there.
Oh, I know exactly who this is. Yeah.
We're working on it. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting better. It's very sweet and totally unnecessary.
But the audio overall is great.
Yeah.
Because the moment when I would say when gameplay properly starts, after you've met the girl, the big hulking, stalking monster, and you are finally let loose properly in the chronic care center, the combination of well-placed zombies with very well presented moments and sequences, plus the audio, it's one of the most memorable sequences I've played in a game. It was specifically the moment where there's that one zombie flicking the lights on and off, just going, well, not on and off, but like, you turn it on, he'll flick them off. And I was terrified, and I snuck away from him. Then I was like, I'll just step through into this door, to open the door to see a maid headbutting a mirror, and was like, okay, I'm gonna, and it felt like a movie where like a camera would be like dollying and would capture these moments of chaos to nail this what is going on vibe.
It weirdly reminded me of stuff like Alien Isolation in terms of those emergent moments that feel very scripted in terms of like, oh god, the problems are everywhere.
Well, it's such a success of placement. Like, that is exactly the intended effect that you're supposed to have, and they just set it up perfectly. And the zombie behavior is so amazing.
They're my favorite type of zombie in media, the kind of forbidden siren type of zombie that echoes and shit. It's great.
So there is a room that I enjoy, and I've done it a few times. Like, I've loaded the game and done it a few times because it's fun. There is a room that you can go into, and there is sort of like a wall of desks that creates a corridor down the middle of the room, and then there's a little side passage and a door off to one side. And there's a box in the middle of the central passage. And if you break that box, it alerts one of the zombies that are sensitive to noises. And they get pissed off whenever they hear noise. And he comes barreling out of the door along with another zombie that's sort of moving in the direction. And when the zombie, not the noisy zombie, but the other zombie gets close to the noisy zombie beats the shit out of the normal zombie. And then just stands there on patrol, now blocking your passage out of this main room.
Yeah. And that sequence stuck in my head too, because it's not just the gameplay aspect, it's also the fact that it is a zombie yelling shit like, keep the fucking noise down. The personality they have is great.
If you kill one zombie anywhere in the vicinity of a maid zombie, she will find it and then occupy the position of that zombie.
Yeah, and just start frantically cleaning it. Yeah, the maids are really good. Like, they use these things sparingly. There's only, like, I think 2 maids and 2, like, zombies that play with lights, and, like, you never get overly familiar with them. There are, like, 3 zombies that sing. The singing is great. It's such a well-worn trope of, like, here is a scary girl doing a dissonant, serene song, but it's so off-kilter that it is it makes my skin crawl.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I will use an injector on every fucking time.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about it, is, like, the Leon stuff is, like, so action-packed, but one of the greatest strengths of Grace's sections is you are a lot less helpless than the game convinces you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
And I think so much of that is that first sequence with the big night terror demon lady. It sets you up so well to be like, I am helpless to the horrors in the darkness, I just have to run.
Yeah.
That you have to come back around on this journey to, no, I can take these things on. And I think giving her the Requiem as early as they do is very much like, don't get set in this mindset of you are not powerful enough to handle these problems.
But they constantly try and, like, trick you into thinking that you're not powerful. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's still very horror-centric. Grace cannot take much of a beating. Ammo is limited. She doesn't get a big bevy of guns. But she does have tools that she can use. And on a second playthrough, I was like, wow, I could have been a lot braver here than I was. Because the other great thing I think this game does is it uses Leon to inform. And why this game isn't such a whiplash is they complement each other. Because the game trains you into thinking, well, Leon's the one that's going to do all the shooting. The Grace section means I can't. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I find it really clever. I don't know, some people might call it bad design, but I think it's great design that, yeah, you can fight a lot more than you're encouraged to as Grace, but the game dissuades you more than it even needs to keep you fucking scared. And I love how it uses Leon to make you more scared as Grace, because it is this back and forth of powering and depowering of the player. And I think it, you know, a lot of people would be like, wow, this thing should have fallen apart at the seams. It should not have worked. But some really fucking clever design has gone into this to make sure both halves of this game complement and inform each other.
Yeah.
Well, and the crafting range that Grace gets access to, that is, I think, the key to everything with her. You know, because once you start getting that, if you're a little economical, you're set. You never have to worry about whether or not you're going to be equipped. It gives you absolutely everything you need. Then you might have some debate about how you apply those resources, but there's plenty of them. And that works out really, really well.
But, and again, like, just as a compliment to the game, I was still terrified that I'd run out of shit. I still didn't feel like I had enough shit when I had plenty. Oh yeah, because and it's often overlooked. It's why I hate arguments like, "Oh, old Resident Evil was scary because of tank controls." It's like, people focus too much on the mechanical side, which is a part of it. But so many horror games forget the psychological aspect of horror, actually playing with the player's perception and mind, and this is why I love it when a game doesn't actually restrict ammo, but makes you worry that it will.
Yeah, in those Grace sections, I was constantly, like, down to 2 or 3 bullets in my inventory, and I would find more just in time, or, like, I wouldn't be too long having to run past stuff before I'd find more things, but I was always on the cusp. It was always like, I could run out any time.
I also think, like, just in terms of the care center, which is, you know, the basis of my experience up to this point, the design of the environment is really good. You know, it does the, you know, follow the loop and then open up the shortcut stuff, but it also
it's another Spencer Mansion. Well, yeah. Not Spencer Mansion. Resident Evil 7 was the Spencer Mansion in Louisiana. This one is more the Raccoon City Police Department, with the 2-floor structure and everything. And I love how they kind of mirror the older games with that kind of stuff.
But it also, like, it makes it feel very open in terms of what approach you want to take or what you want to deal with first in that, you know, larger puzzle, which is great. You know, eventually you're going to go everywhere, do everything, but you feel liberated to do it, and it gives you the opportunity to sort of build yourself up if that would help you. which it absolutely did for me.
And there's enough different shit happening in each area to give it its own flavor. Like, the east wing of that building is a very different tone to the west wing of that building.
Yep.
And I love that too.
And also, I love what this has done with scope of environments. The ways that they open up the amount of space in the environments you're in over and over repeatedly, while still keeping the feel of tension and there could be something just out of sight outside a corner, despite these bigger spaces, works really well and is not a thing that I think Resident Evil has historically done very well.
Yeah. Environmental design throughout is incredibly fucking strong. I would say every element of the game is stronger in the first half. Especially with regards to, like, enemies and that kind of stuff. There's a very good reason for it, but the enemies in the second half just don't quite have the flavorful vibe that they do in the first half. That doesn't mean it's bad. All of it is so fucking good. And sort of some of the boss fights are I find quite disappointing, especially in comparison to what they narratively mean.
Yeah.
But the environmental design is great, and again, like, where we talk about how this game doesn't whiplash as much as it should, as action-packed and as, let's face it, hilarious as Leon's moments are, every fight is it feels so big and consequential and fucking chaotic that it might trade in the horror for action a bit, but the level of intensity and tension is still always there.
It will be very genuinely serious, tense action, and then Leon will make a stupid little quip at the end, and I will be able to release all that tension I'd been holding in my shoulders.
God, he's so great in this. Leon's on top form in this.
There's a point where, like, he deals with an enemy while, like, at the end of a road, and makes the stupidest quip I've ever heard anyone make in a game, and I fucking love it. It's such a good game, this.
It's real good. Real good. Inventory still... God damn it. Like, why does the wristband take up inventory space?
Yeah.
That's my big issue with Grace's sections, it's the inventory.
I was so fucking happy when I found the first couple of those hidden, give you 2 extra slots for Grace. Like, even 2 slots makes such a big difference for her.
Yeah. Oh. But that's okay. Because, like I say, the design of the environment in there, everything is really accessible once you've created a path. So it's not that big a deal to go to a chest, and they're positioned pretty well.
Yeah, it mainly just meant that, like, I left the Requiem in a box for a lot of the early section, because I was like, I have one box, I have one weapon, I'm not gonna worry about a second right now, I don't have space for that.
Yeah, it's not until things take a turn in the first half that the Requiem at all feels necessary. And so I just had it stashed away, and by the time I was, it was valuable to have it, I had ammunition for it. So,
yeah.
There is that. Good game.
Also,
really good game.
Side note, can I just say, I'm so thankful that they allow third-person gameplay. As someone that gets really badly motion sick in first-person games, I loved Resident Evil 7 and 8, both of them. I thought they were fantastic. Could not play either of them for more than about an hour at a time without getting ill.
Oh.
Being able to play Grace's sections entirely in third person and the game not shout at me for doing that, not ideal that it occasionally pulls you into first person for cutscenes and some of the masher zombie off me sections, but they're short enough and infrequent enough that I did not get motion sick at all playing this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's clear what each section was designed for, and the fact that they tried to make it work in it, because you can play Leon's in first person too, which I really don't like.
No.
I actually went into the options, because if you install a dot sight on Leon's guns, fine aiming will go first person, and I turned that off. I did stick with Grace's gameplay being in first person, because changing either way felt weird to me, but I love that the option's there.
I can see why, tonally, it would really emphasize the horror tone to do those sections in first person. But if I'm not going to enjoy the game if it's making me ill, so fuck it, let me third person it. I'm still thinking it's great.
Like, as an accessibility thing, if nothing else, it is great that it's there. It's great.
My wife put it on for third person only because she didn't want to deal with the intensity of playing Grace's sections in first person.
Yeah.
Like she
also
just that freaks her out. And I never bothered to switch it off. So I've just been playing it in third person. And honestly, if you hadn't said something, I would have forgotten that that's the way it's intended to be played.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I tell you why I tried it for a bit, and I'll tell you why I actually changed it back, is I could see it being a lot more nerve-wracking in third person than first, because as immersive as first is, I felt more isolated and claustrophobic when I couldn't see with my own quote-unquote eyes what was going on. So I'd be interested to see if people who played Grace in third person actually had a scarier experience. Because it was fucking scary enough for me in first person.
It's hard to quantify. It was indeed scary as fuck, those sections. I didn't feel like I was lessening the fear by playing in third person.
And every once in a while, you'll get a surprise bonus jump scare. Like, say you're in the kitchen and you're walking along the walls, and all of a sudden the handle of a push cart clips into your camera vision, and you're like, oh shit, what was that? Yeah. It's good.
Can I just also say that the series has been hurting for great villains, really, since Wesker died. I love Victor Gideon. He's so good.
Victor's fantastic. I love Victor so much.
Again, Grace's voice actor is impeccable, but the rest of the voice cast is great as well. And Victor's kind of disaffected, sardonic sort of delivery. I love the bit near the beginning when he's just really casually popping off his little virus gun, almost as a second thought. Just I'll shoot one more. Great.
He's such a good 80s villain. Oh yes, hello, I'm doing my evil science voice.
Even does a little bow when he introduces himself.
Yeah.
Also, it's nice to have a zombie outbreak scenario that you get to experience right from the very beginning in one of these games.
I really wish games in general would do that more. They're always whenever a zombie game has a sequence that's set right as the outbreak kicks off, like the beginning of The Last of Us, right? Or certain actually, I don't think they were playable in Days Gone, but whenever it's like that kind of thing, it's usually my favorite bit. And yes, you are absolutely right, Conrad. Getting to actually experience that, it reminds me of the one thing I liked in Resident Evil 6. The one good thing was similar, where I think it's set in Tokyo, and there are all these people, you're in a building and there's a big glass window, and there's all these people bashing on the window, screaming for help, and then just zombie gas just creeps up behind and covers the entire window, just swallows them all, and that zombies are now in there. And it was so well done. It was the one good bit of 6, but it was nice to have that feeling again of oh shit has just popped off. It's a great sequence, that moment. That whole bit in the street is great.
Yeah, when you realise that gun is just shooting virus bullets, it's oh. One other thing very quickly that it's just a very quick note I wanted to add on this. I had people asking me about what the Switch 2 version was going to be like, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll try playing this on Switch 2. That Switch 2 port, really fucking good.
Yeah.
Plays at 60 FPS, holds that pretty darn well, both in handheld and on the TV.
Good.
The main place you would notice differences is if you look at the hair, occasionally the strands are a little inconsistent because it's using DLSS.
Yeah.
There was one room where I noticed, you're doing DLSS, which was a room where you do a thing and the floor goes down. There was some after imaging as it went down, and that was clearly unintended, and it was one 30-second sequence where I went, I can see that that's not a native image, you're trying to upscale it, and the upscaler's done something weird here. But generally speaking, looked fantastic, ran really well, did not feel like a compromised experience.
Cool. I'm always tempted by the Switch version of any game if it's on a Switch platform. I ended up opting with PS5 for this one just because Capcom has some of the best lighting in the business, and I wanted it to look as good as it could on my TV.
That's totally fair.
I'm glad I went PS5 for no other option, then I'm a huge mark for the DualSense, and
so am I, and it's the one thing I missed out on, I think.
They used every time you reload, it comes through the gun. It comes through the gun. It comes through the controller, and it makes it sound like the reload is like echoing down hallways and stuff.
Oh, I do feel envious of that.
Yeah, it's not just like coming out as a gimmick. It's actually giving echo to things, and the the rumble, the situational rumble. That first sequence in the street with the rain. They do a pitter-patter effect with the DualSense, and it's gorgeous. So, I would recommend if anyone is like trying to pick which system, I can certainly offer really high praise for the use of the PS5 controller.
I don't blame you, and I am a real mark for that stuff. I mainly, when people were asking about the Switch version, I was like, you know what, I'll check it out, because that Pragmata demo on Switch recently was like, okay, Capcom's making stuff run pretty well on this. I'll give it a go.
Well, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Genuinely, I am really impressed technically with what Capcom is putting out on, like, day and date Switch 2 ports. The fact that they're, like, not delayed, runs in handheld at 60. Good job on that, Capcom.
I'm impressed at their ability to put out a PC port that runs really well on day one.
Capcom's getting better, aren't they? Yeah. They're getting pretty good at porting these days. Well, that's like 3/4 of a standard episode of Podquisition talking about one game, which should tell you that we were having a good time with it.
Oh, God.
Yep.
And it's not even a Dark Souls game. Look at that.
Can we spend some time? I've not had a huge amount of time to talk about this yet, but Steph, I know you're curious about this. Can I tell you about Pokopia?
I mean,
Please.
The only other thing I've got to talk about is the $20 ROM of Pokemon Fire Red. So I think Pokemon Animal Crossing is a much nicer topic.
Let me tell you about Pokemon Animal Crossing. I say Pokemon Animal Crossing. It's a little bit Animal Crossing. It's a lot Dragon Quest Builders, if you ever played that.
I did think about that when I saw that trailer.
This is from the Dragon Quest Builders development team, and you can feel the Dragon Quest Builders in it. A little bit Minecraft. Weirdly, the thing I want to compare it to most is Viva Pinata, in that it is much more a game about developing little biomes that animals are going to be happy in and creating, like, the environments that are going to meet their needs and the crafting environments around those kind of aspects is really reminding me of Viva Pinata. I'm not very far in. It's scratching the Dragon Quest Builders itch in me that I absolutely have been craving for a while. That's not the thing I'm excited to talk about. The thing I'm excited to talk about is, if you like your cozy little games about, like, running around, doing tasks, building a beautiful little town, getting your resources, whatever, the thing that sets this apart is its fucking weird tone. It's absolutely fucking bonkers tone. You are playing as a Ditto who has been in hibernation for God knows how long, and you wake up to a post-apocalypse. From what I can tell, it sure seems like it might be the world from the Gen 1 Pokemon games. It is not explained where all the humans have gone. The one Pokemon you meet at the start, Professor Tangrowth, is like, I don't remember the last time I saw a human. It's been many a year. So you, as a Ditto, try and make yourself look like your old trainer. Except that you, as you befriend these Pokemon, you create little habitats to lure them in. You start learning their moves, but still kind of being human when you do them. So, if you meet a Squirtle and you learn Water Gun to, like, rehydrate the land, you are a human with a Ditto face vomiting up water with a very exaggerated, like, it looks like you are having to force yourself to vomit this water up. It does not look natural. To water all the plants. Do you want to collect up, like, you've broken a bunch of dirt blocks and you want to collect up all the materials? The best way to do it, just hold down Y to suck and do a massive suction motion, and you swallow all of the materials. Because guess what? Your inventory is just your stomach. If you want an item out your inventory, you reach down your own throat to grab it out your stomach and pull it out your mouth. I keep finding books of plot that imply that this is in a way darker setting than I was ready for. I am reading little snippets of books very early on about, like, the downfall of humanity and humanity's exodus from formerly livable areas of the planet. All while, like, you know, I put some bushes near the water and a Charmander showed up and helped me light a little bonfire. It's dystopian and, like, Looney Tunes wacky in equal measure, and it's very endearing. I'm a little overwhelmed by how much stuff there is to do. I've played maybe 2 hours so far, and the opening couple of hours is very, like, it is definitely handholdy. It wants you to be doing stuff in a certain order. If you don't want to be doing that, you can just straight away go to a separate island that is designed for multiplayer that is like, do you just want to explore with no tutorials and, like, nothing slowing you down and just have a full-size open world to just fuck around and learn the mechanics in without the narrative happening? But I want to be where the narrative is, even though it's kind of slowing me down with tutorializing, because that's where the weird, creepy plot is living. So yeah, I'm not terribly far in so far. It's everything I'd hoped it would be in terms of weird and unsettling and kind of gross.
It's my kind of bag, this kind of game, and I had heard a lot of good things, and it does look good. And I say this as someone who has made no secret of how critical she is of Game Freak and its complacency. And, well, we all know what I thought.
This one's not made by Game Freak, and it's the highest-rated Pokemon game ever.
There we go. You know, not just Game Freak, you know, as the series as well. Like, I'm very critical of it, not because I don't like it, but because I do. Everyone knows what I thought of Legends ZA.
Yeah.
I am quite looking forward to this. And I'm certainly glad you've been enjoying it.
I will also say, for feeling hopeful about Pokemon, because, you know, we got that Fire Red Leaf report recently that is what it is, but nice things that are making me feel vaguely positive about Pokemon. They announced the next mainline games in the series, Winds and Waves, the other day, not releasing until 2027, which will be 5 years since Scarlet and Violet, which, for the last 30 years, it's been about every 3 years they've released a mainline game. The fact they've taken an extra 2 years has me go, oh, did you actually take on board the critique of Scarlet and Violet and you actually taken some time with this one?
I will say,
I'm happy to hear.
I watched the trailer for Winds and Waves, and I will say, right, it visually looked to me like the series had finally, like, caught up with modern times.
Yeah.
Graphics were super impressive. Really detailed. The fur on the Pikachu was especially amazing. And I'm like, this finally looks like what a modern game, like what I would expect a modern high-end Pokemon game to look like. And when that cinematic stopped, the actual gameplay happened, and it was the same as it ever was. So I can't say that I was enthused, because that opening cinematic, which was not a gameplay, actually looked like the kind of game Game Freak could easily afford to make. And I was like, if these Pikachus step aside and I see something that looks like Violet, I am going to be oh, it looks like Scarlet and Violet. Okay. That said, it is good that they are waiting until 27 and they are taking time.
Yeah.
And graphics aren't everything. So I needed to get my cynical dig in. But I will always check out a new Pokemon game. Always. And I will always hope it's good. So we will see. I don't love the look of the new starter Pokemon. The water one is probably the one I like the most.
I like the little fire Pomeranian. I will say, the angry owl, the angry little bird, the best way I can describe it is it looks like one of the creatures from Palworld.
Oh, you're not wrong.
No, it looks like a Palworld creature, right?
Maybe that's like Nintendo was like, make that one look like Palworld. Fucking flex. But yeah, it does look like out of them, the grass starter is the weakest one from a visual design standpoint, which is a shame. I tend to like starting with grass unless I don't like how it looks, because I don't pick Pokemon based on like whether they're good Pokemon. Like, whenever I play a game with Beedrill in it, I will rock a Beedrill in my party. Literally the worst Pokemon of Gen 1. I will always rock a Beedrill. But with this one, I've never liked fire Pokemon out of the starter Pokemon. I rarely like the fire ones as much as the others, so it's always been grass or water.
I've always been a fire starter person until Scarlet and Violet, where they offered me a duck, and then I was like, yeah, no, okay, I'm a water type now.
You had to go for the duck, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I did actually open up Pokemon Violet for the first time in a long time because I found my save file, because Pokemon doesn't do cloud saves. And so I was like, on the Switch too, I've only got, what was it, Legends ZA and the other shit. But, like, I thought I'd lost everything. And I found not my last Switch I had, but, like, an older one than that. And dug it out and managed to charge it because I didn't think it was working. And I found all of my old saves. So for the first time, I've been using Pokemon Home to, like, rescue them. And it's been wonderful, actually, sort of finding the shit I forgot I had, like a shiny Gengar that I got, or all of the shiny Ekanses that you gave me. There's a lot of these Pokemon where I'm like, oh my god, I forgot Laura gave me that.
I can confirm, Ekans is in Pokopia.
Good! It is now the best game.
Right.
Best game. But yeah, that's been fun, like, doing that, because now, having uncovered everything, I now have a party with 3 of the legendary Gen 1 birds in it, Mewtwo and 2 Mews, which has just amused me greatly.
Mewtwo and Mew 1 and Mew 2.
Yeah. I need your help, though, on something, because I did.
Yeah,
I made a Fucky Wucky, and
what Fucky Wucky did you make?
It's one of the most neurodivergent Fucky Wuckies ever. Because, first of all, it starts with, I was playing Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
I was playing Pokemon, and thanks to my ADHD, I forgot that Fluttermane was not Misdreavus, which was a Pokemon that looks a lot like Misdreavus in Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. So I was like, why is that called Fluttermane? I have forgotten. Maybe Laura, because it was from you, I said, maybe Laura called this one Fluttermane for some reason. Unusually, it can let me change nicknames, which it's never done when you trade Pokemon. Like, if you get a Pokemon from someone else, you could never change its name. And I'm like, yeah, that's weird. But since it lets me do that, I'm going to change this to Misdreavus. And then I remembered Fluttermane was its own Pokemon. And one thing I didn't know was that in a truly Pokemon-pilled move, they let you rename Pokemon from other trainers, but only once. And they just disabled the option without telling you why. So because of my ADHD, I forgot that there was a Fluttermane and I called it Misdreavus. And because of my autism, I am screaming internally inside every time I see a Fluttermane called Misdreavus.
Okay. So is this one that I'm the original trainer?
Yes, and I'm like,
okay. Is this you want to trade it back to me in the hopes that I can nickname it to Fluttermane and then trade it back to you?
Yeah.
Literally message me after recording. I'll sort you out.
It doesn't have, just knowing that I can do that at some point will calm my brain down. But I was like, this is one of the most neurodivergent situations I've ever found myself in.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Oh, dear.
What about you, Conrad? Have you played anything else this week?
No, I really haven't had time. I've been playing the Vampire Crawlers demo some more, and I am pleased to report it has cloud save on it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's been a problem. But otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Any other quick ones you want to get out, Steph?
Nah, I think I'm good.
Let me double check. Did I have any ones I wanted to quickly do? I wanted to say, Conrad, thank you for recommending AudioMech. AudioMech is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's real good.
You were right. It is very good at detecting naturally when those big swells in the music are to activate that sort of like big special, and it is really seamless to just be playing music on streaming and have that work in the game.
Yep. It's good. It's good. I'm looking forward to the full release.
I've got other stuff, but I can come back and talk about that probably in future weeks, because this was the big ones to talk about. Just double checking. I've got a couple of very quick news bits we can throw in before we finish today that just felt worth addressing. Did either of you hear about the Final Fantasy VII Steam version nonsense that happened this week?
No, that one actually passed me by.
So the original Final Fantasy VII, not the remake, got released on Steam this past week. And people have been clamoring for a decent version of that to be available on Steam. But hopefully that would fix some of the problems that have been inherent with PC releases of that in the past. There are some notorious issues with PC versions of this game of, like, running at the wrong frame rate and doing weird things. None of those were the biggest problem that this game had when it released on Steam. It released, and people realized that it was a 0-byte download.
Whoops.
There was no game in the game. That was the case for about 4 hours. People were downloading copies of the game that had no game in them.
Well, I'm sure they were getting them very quickly.
They were indeed getting them very quickly. After which people did eventually, they put the executable in and everyone got their update. Not only were all of the known problems with that game still in there were new problems. It was worse than the previous versions people were hoping it would replace.
Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts, hoping that Square Enix would release a good PC port of something. The other quick one is, you know how people have been desperate for a long time for us to get, like, a 60 FPS patch for Bloodborne or a nice, like, modern Bloodborne remake project?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like that's never gonna happen. Specifically, we know this because Bluepoint, the studio that PlayStation had doing all their, like, the Demon's Souls remake and stuff like that, apparently is one of 5 different teams that pitched to From Software making a Bloodborne remake, and every single one of them got turned down by From Software. It seems like From Software actively does not want to do anything with Bloodborne, so sorry everyone who was holding their breath for that.
That's a shame.
That's a bummer.
I mean, I guess they have their reasons. I can't fathom what they'd be, but
it's real weird because, like, they're seemingly very buddy-buddy with Nintendo at the moment because they're working on, what is it, the Dusk Bloods, which is a Switch 2 exclusive that's coming this year, I think. Is it just that they're on bad terms with PlayStation? That they just don't like PlayStation now? Who can say?
I don't know what FromSoft itself thought of the Demon's Souls remake and all of that, but I know consensus over time has really turned on it. I see a lot of people shitting on it these days.
Do they? I thought it was pretty solid.
I don't remember seeing so much criticism of it back when it was new, but... And YouTube's a poor gauge of these things, but in my recommends, I now get lots of videos about how the Demon's Souls remake wasn't very good, and, like, here's why, and all of this kind of shit. I don't know if sentiment has anything to do with it. I don't know.
Huh. But yeah, that's probably it for news this week. We had enough Resident Evil to talk about. We could probably leave it here.
Nice.
Well, From Software doesn't want to make Bloodborne. But Laura, you also don't want to make Bloodborne because you do other things that aren't Bloodborne.
I don't know. If they would let me make Bloodborne, I'd give it a try. I've not done much coding in the past, but, you know, I could give it a go.
If you were to make Bloodborne, how could people reach out and get examples of your work?
If people wanted to reach out and do a cease and desist to tell me I'm not allowed to make Bloodborne, they can find me at Laura K. Buzz, most places on the internet that stuff gets posted. Today's Wednesday. The day that this is going up, you should probably be able to check out on YouTube the first episode of Where Everybody Has Gone Before, a podcast where myself and Jeffrey Bunting spin a randomized wheel and talk about episodes of Star Trek. The very first episode, we are talking about a two-parter from Star Trek Prodigy, which is the CGI children's Star Trek spin-off. We're talking about a two-parter from near the end of that show's run. Go check that out. That's going to be up alternating Thursdays. The idea is going to be Control-Alt-Access one Thursday, where Everybody has gone before the alternating Thursdays. Laura K. Buzz on Patreon, that's what pays the bills, as little as $1 a month over there. Lets me keep doing all this stuff. Twitch, you can check me out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at about 9 PM UK, 4 PM Eastern, 1 PM Pacific. I'm gonna be streaming Pokopia for a while. You can come see my very strange ditto human vomiting up water to make a nice pretty garden. What about you, Conrad? Where are you out on the internet?
You can find me at Conrad Zimmerman on Blue Sky, and you can hang out with me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thatconradzimmerman. I'm on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and my wife's been playing Resident Evil periodically too, so, just on a whim might happen. So just go there and hit the sub, and I hear Twitch alerts are working again. You can buy anti-capitalist propaganda and Jimquisition merchandise at mercenarycreative.com. And everything I do online gets supported through Patreon at patreon.com/fistshark. And you know who else has a Patreon? Stephanie Sterling.
That's true. Patreon.com/Jimquisition, which supports this podcast and videos on the YouTube. We've got one coming up very soon, and reviews on thejimquisition.com. A review is up at the moment for some game I talked about last week that I now cannot remember, and I will have a review for Resident Evil Requiem up this week as well. So be on the lookout for that. I will be in Manchester on April the 4th. I think it is, for Pinfall Pro Wrestling, so check out pinfallwrestling.com for details there, and you can check out my work in Vampire Survivors, Date Everything, and Quantum Witch, which are 3 video games which are out in the world, and you can enjoy them, and I've written for them, and they are good. And yeah, thank you all for your support, and for listening, and all of that stuff. We'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.